So we're going to start section 10.4 today, and we're going to talk about installment buying. So as we go through the section, we're going to talk about some different types of installment buying. As we did with previous sections, we're going to get started with some different definitions before we jump into the examples. As we're going through these, as we did with the previous sections, you definitely want to make sure you kind of have a calculator handy to work through these problems as we're working through them in the video and or on the notes. All right, so when borrowing money, the borrower normally repays the loan as a single payment at the end of the specified time period. There may be circumstances under which it is more convenient for the borrower to repay the loan on a weekly, monthly, or other convenient time period. One method of doing so is to borrow money on an installment plan. So the idea is in this section, instead of looking at how much are we going to pay back in the end as a lump sum, what happens if we were to make payments? And we're going to explore some different options of making payments. All right, so again, to start with, we're going to go through some definitions. A fixed installment loan is one in which you pay a fixed amount of money for a set number of payments. Examples: college tuition loans, loans for cars. And this is something that probably a lot of us are familiar with. Loans for cars, boats, appliances, furniture, etc., where we're taking out a loan for a certain amount of time and we are paying them off. They're usually repaid in months, so 24 months being 2 years, 36 months being 3 years, so on and so forth. So those are in fixed installment loans. Right. An open-ended installment loan is a loan on which you can make variable payments each month. A good example of this is credit cards. Right? So it's not necessarily the same amount of money every month. It varies from month to month. The total installment price is the sum of all the monthly payments and the down payment, if any. The annual percentage rate or the APR is the true rate of interest charged for the loan. The total finance charge is the total amount of money the borrower must pay for borrowing the money. Interest plus any additional fees charged. Right, so we've already talked a lot about interest, but in these cases we might see some additional fees as well. The down payment is the amount of money, is the amount of the purchase price the buyer pays to the seller before taking out the loan. So maybe you make a down payment and pay some money up front before taking out the loan. And then the amount financed is the amount of money borrowed, the principal for the loan. Right, so we're going to take these definitions and we're going to work through them in the first example on the next page and kind of talk a little bit about these. All right, so in our introduction example, Sue purchased a new computer on a monthly purchase plan. The computer sold for $1,495, a way more expensive computer than anything I've ever purchased, but that's what we're working with here. Sue paid 5% down and a $64 a month payment for 24 months. What is the total amount Sue will pay for her computer? What finance charge did Sue pay? All right, so first, find the needed missing information. So the first thing we're going to find is our down payment. Our down payment is a simple percent times whole. So our down payment, we're going to take the percent that was paid down times the original purchase price, which is going to be our whole. Right, so our down payment, right, she put down 5%, so 0.05. times our whole, which was 1,495. We multiply these together and we get $74.75. So that was the amount of the down payment. The amount financed, right? That's going to be our selling price minus the down payment. Right. So the selling price was $1,495 minus $74.75. Right. That means the amount that still needs to be paid that's being financed, $1,420.25. So to find our down payment in simple multiplication, to find our amount financed, we're doing a simple subtraction. What is the total amount that Sue paid? Right, so our total paid is going to be our down payment plus all monthly payments. All right, so our down payment from Part A was $74.75, and then we're told that she makes 24 payments of $64 a month. So we're going to take $64 times 24. Again, we can type it in a calculator or step-by-step multiply and then add. We get $1,610.75. What finance charge did Sue pay? Our finance charge, remember, is the total paid minus the original selling price. Right? So this is the interest and any other fees. So in our case, $1,610.75. That was our total paid, minus a selling price of $1,495. Gives us $115.75. So again, the idea of a $1,500 computer might be slightly a little bit out of our normal price range. Definitely something I'm a little uncomfortable with. But this at least gives us an idea of how to do kind of some of these basic calculations and look at some of those definitions that we saw on the previous page of our notes.